welcome back to another edition of the Marketing Medic Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Clark, and also the CEO of ACC Unlimited, the creative and marketing agency for restaurants. Today, we have an exciting episode lined up. I am so excited about having Nicole Lopez on. She is the owner of Mama Chea, right? We were practicing that earlier. Mama Chea
Yeah,
Cafe, located in Davie. This is a 100% premium vegan specialty cafe and juice bar. It's also a market and commissary kitchen. Everything from juices to smoothies to their own custom products, right? And we're going to
correct.
talk a lot about the shop and your story, how it came about, where people can find you, and what's next. We want to hear all the good stuff, Nicole. All right, all the good
Yeah,
stuff. All right.
yes,
Well,
yes.
Nicole, thank you for hopping on today.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony, and round of applause for your intro. I love that. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I
indeed.
love being on these platforms because I feel like we're able to connect more with the community and with podcasters that tune in and listen. And these conversations are extremely important, especially for those that are in a space of trying to find where in this space they can become something of innovation or create
Hmm.
something.
Hmm.
And it's incredible of what one small idea can take you.
I love that. Yes, I totally agree. So let's start here, right? So you are in the hospitality space, but not only are you in the space, but you are also in the vegan space, which is
Yeah.
even tougher. Can you
Yes.
talk about how this idea came about? Are you an accident restaurant owner, or are you, wanting to own a restaurant your entire life, a shop? Tell us about it.
So, I mean, ever since I was young, I've always loved being in the kitchen, whether it's with my grandma, who's Mama Chea. It's named after my
Mm,
grandmother. So,
beautiful.
I was very much inspired by her and just how like she moved in the kitchen, whether it's just for a simple meal or just for like people that are coming over, or just she just always had food done. Like there was always food done. So in the Dominican culture, like you have the grandmas cooking like, well, I don't know about now because you have the famas. But the grandmas, like, back in the day, that's what they did. They catered to like, all right, they did their work. Now they're just kind of retired and just cooking, taking care of the grandkids and just like family together. So it's a unity thing. So Mama Chea's Cafe, I wanted to keep that legacy of just what it meant to me and then like something that I can create in the community that I feel like it's been missing, especially after 2020. So, the
Mm,
cafe, it's not just like any typical other like vegan cafe. There's so much mindfulness and, even when you come in, like there's everything. It's like from the lettuce grill to like just very natural, not overstimulating, and just that was a purpose so people can feel more inviting and a place that it's not so overwhelming when they come to visit.
hmm. Gotcha. So it's a beautiful, inspirational story, right? So your grandmother inspired it. It's named after her, so that's wonderful, right? So
Yeah.
tell me about it. Like, what were you doing? Did you have a typical career, and did you make a switch over into hospitality? What was that transition like?
Yeah. So God, I come from corporate. So since I was 17, I worked for corporate. As soon as I finished pretty much high school, um, I didn't directly just go into college. I kind of needed to find my way, to figure out like what I wanted to do in life. I think from young, even from when I was in like middle school, I was selling lollipops. So I've always had that entrepreneur and
Mm,
skill inside of me, that hustle mentality. So for me, it
mhm,
was important you know, to not forget that about myself, even when in corporate. So sometimes we get stuck in a space, especially being in corporate. And I had that typical 9 to 5 corporate, like, the holiday comes, you're stuck in there for all hours, no vacation, you know, you can't request time off. So but I loved what I did. So I was a customs broker for the largest distributing company for liquor and wine here in the United States. And I'm so grateful for that company because it taught me so much of just like business and how to approach people and how to have conversations, um, professionally. So coming from corporate and then now we're fast forwarding, I was in corporate for over 18 years. And then during the pandemic, 2020, I had my son And after I had my son, I had to make a decision of like what was I going to do? Because number one, I was not healed completely when corporate wanted me back. And that was challenging for me because something that I was in this specific company for over 12 years. So it was like a hard breakup. Like, how do I leave this company? Not only like my work, but also the relationships that I've had with these people. They become your family.
Hmm.
So for me, it was a very tough decision. But they ended up letting me go. So, you know, you're kind of like hands up, what do you do? So anybody, survival no survival mode. What are you good at? What do I know? I've been doing this freight forwarding, customs broker things for over 18 years. What do I really want? So being able, and then, the pandemic also that gave a stop for everybody. Like everybody had to literally sit with their thoughts and figure out what they wanted.
Hmm.
Because just the time we were in, so it
Yeah.
was just like you either like continue, and I think it wasn't great what was going on, but I think it was a great opportunity where it allowed society to really dive into their minds and
Yes.
what are you doing?
Right. I always say it broke all the patterns, right, that we're used to in our daily lives, and like you said, it forced you to sit down and sit with yourself.
Yeah,
What's really important? Who am I? What do I do? Like when you can't meet
yeah,
up with your friends, you can't go to your favorite restaurants, you can't even walk down the street, right, and do the thing
yeah,
that you wanted to. When all that stuff is taken away from you, you'll be
yeah,
shocked who you find out who you are, you
yeah.
know? Hmm.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree. And that I feel like, you know, that led me to a space where I think everybody too, where it kind of like figures out who's my inner circle and who am I really
Yes.
going to vibe with?
Yes.
And I think if you like, I even was talking to somebody about this the other day. Like, I think if you really analyze people now and the people who they like are with, it's kind of like they even stuck with them after the pandemic.
Hmm. Yep. Hmm.
Like it's I don't know. And it's like even like reaching out to family, like, hey, we could still hang out, the 2020 is over. Like, no, we're still doing with 2020. We're still hanging with the 2020s. So I don't know. I think it was a great opportunity. It was bittersweet, obviously, because
Hmm.
what I'm self-publisher as well because I during my birth, I gave birth during the middle of pandemic. So I actually wrote a book. So when they wanted me to go back to corporate, it was very challenging for me. Postpartum was hard for me, and these are conversations, which is why I did release a book that I felt like I needed to share my story. I needed to tell women
Hmm.
that, I went through this, but I survived and it was crazy. It was like facing the devil to its eyes and I wasn't going to be turned down. And
Hmm.
and I did so, and I am so grateful for my family and my mom, like, because that's like my backbone, like
Right.
my support system. So I think when back to the conversation, when like anything, like you need your support system
Yeah.
because without that, I feel like that's where we're humans. We're meant to have support systems.
Yes, indeed.
Not that we're enabled by support system, but we need to have that reassurance from the people we love and we trust around us to like make that
Indeed.
decision. Yeah.
Indeed, right? So you come up with the idea of Mama Chea during the pandemic, and then what's step one? Where do you go from there?
So I started off as partnering up with my partner at the time. Like not at the time, we're still partnered. Um, we started off at the Yellow Green Farmers Market. I
Yes.
had my own booth because I'm also a yoga instructor. So I would teach yoga. I had like a spiritual shop where I would sell like incense and like, statues and just spiritual goods. And I was into like meditation and all that. So that was something that I was already into. And the Yellow Green Farmers Market was that vibe. And he was the owner, and he is the owner of Rainbow Root Teas. So I rebranded it. I repartnered with him and I rebranded it. So I made it clean, store shelf ready product.
Mm.
So it went from going from a grassroots marketplace to then approaching stores. And we did that during the pandemic. We were knocking doors to doors locally to places that are able to carry our products. And, we were
Hmm.
giving things for free away. We were losing so much money.
Hmm.
And
What
then
kind
we
of products were
also,
these?
sea moss gel. We specialize in sea moss gels, elixirs, herbal elixirs that people were just looking for, so they're
Yes.
really popular in the farm. They did very well, and I believe in the product. It's a great product. So this is why I rebranded and then why I said, you know what, I'm going to just refocus and let me dive into what he's doing and
Hmm.
see what I can bring to the table with my knowledge and with my experience. So I branded with him. And then fast forward to 2020, I felt like I needed my own space. Not that anything was wrong with partnering up with him, but I'm a person of creation. So there's so much more stuff going on that I want to create because,
Hmm.
there's just so much that sometimes it makes no sense for other people. But for me, I understand that vision. So that's when
Hmm.
I created Forge Earth and Ocean Wild Harvest Botanical, which is my brand. And then from there, 2022, in 2023, our current vegan commercial facility was in Boca, and we were driving from Boca
Mm.
all the way to Davie during this time.
Oof. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
drive.
So every time we had to produce, we had to drive, and then we have a newborn. So it was just like a lot. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just go out there and find a commercial kitchen. We're going to figure this out. I don't care what it takes. It has to happen.
Okay.
So we did so. And then I found a space in 2023. And that's where Mama Chea's Cafe is now. And we moved all our stuff from Boca to Davie, which we're residents of Davie. And I was like, okay, well, this is going to work out. It's all in
Mhm.
the same city.
Right.
Um, so we moved the commercial kitchen to Davie, and I told my fiance, like, my partner, like, why not like just make it a cafe and like, also a production space.
Yeah. Right.
Like we don't have to have, obviously you don't, it's a percentage. So like a small percentage is a cafe, but the rest is a
Yeah.
manufactured facility. So that's why
Right.
and that's, I think sometimes customers don't understand that because we're a small space and we don't
Hmm.
have like a huge sit down restaurant, which I don't want to host sit down restaurant. The
Hmm.
cafe's fine sometimes. And I've seen that where a lot of these amazing vegan spots that are full blown restaurants have closed down.
Yeah, they struggle. Right.
Yeah, they struggle. Number one, it's a very hard category. Like
Yes.
it's a very, very hard category to just stay 100% vegan.
Yes.
Most places you go to, they have the vegan options, but not like 100%.
Exactly. Right. And there's so many different types of vegans also, right? And there's so many subcategories of vegan, right? Some people are like raw
Yeah.
vegans and this. I don't want to be, I don't
Yeah,
want to
you
sound
got the bully
uneducated.
vegans too. You got the
Right.
bully vegans that were like, no, yeah, and I'm like,
Exactly.
okay,
Right. Exactly. So
it's made with
you have
plants
to,
though.
right, you have to service all those people correctly. Like in our agency, we've had vegan brands that we've done marketing for, and that was the first lesson we learned. I was like, oh, this is actually difficult. You're thinking,
Yeah,
oh, it's a niche. Okay,
yeah,
we just niche down, find the vegan people, they're gonna love it. No, no, no. There's a lot of
no,
explanation, a lot of education that goes into it. Your copywriting has to be on point. People have to understand the product before they actually get the product right in a real
yeah,
way. And so,
yeah.
yeah, definitely a hard category for sure.
It's definitely a hard category. And what we're doing also very unique is that we also manufacture all the plant-based meats in-house, you
Beautiful,
know.
beautiful.
So not only we're creating like this vegan space, we're also making the whole food plant-based foods right there.
Yeah, wow.
So many of these vegan restaurants, that's another thing. It's overly saturated with overly processed vegan food.
Yes, yes.
And then what encouraged me more was like every time, now this is my lifestyle for over 10 years, veganism, holistic, homeopathic. So for me, this language was familiar. But for the
Mhm.
average community person, they're like, what the hell is this? What is vegan? What do you
Yes,
mean? What
right.
do you
Hmm.
mean walnuts, meatballs? Like, what is that? Is a meatball's a meatball, It's like, oh no,
Right,
well, but there's a different way we can approach that
right.
with our plant-based meats. So I felt like there's a space where I can fulfill within the community that I felt as a consumer that was lacking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you find a problem, I'm going to give my solution, which is what I devoted my career to.
Hmm.
And that's why we create it as a brand. We package it and everything. So we started
Beautiful.
off with the sea moss gels and the elixirs, but then when
Hmm.
I started in 2023, Mama Chea's Cafe, the alternative plant-based meats and all these different
Yeah,
options on just packaging what I believe in, what I'm having trouble with as a consumer, and then just putting it out there. And, you know, I create products like that too, because I also have a skincare line, you know. So I
Mhm.
listen to people and I read and I research and I figure out like what is there missing and what can I fulfill the space with like just the leverage that I'm in. So if I
Yeah.
have like the capacity and the ability to do it, then why not?
Yeah, and I think what you said was super important about crafting a business around what's familiar to you, right? You already are in the sector. You already have a massive amounts of education about it. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. You use it, right? You eat it. So hey, maybe if I can mass produce this, this would make sense, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Nicole, tell me about some of the hardest lessons that you've learned in this process of going starting up the commissary kitchen, crafting products, creating products, manufacturing products, get distributing the products, and then also a cafe, right? Tell me about, there's a lot of hard lessons in
Like,
there somewhere.
crazy girl, like such a crazy girl. What is she doing, right?
It's a lot to manage. Yeah,
It's a
if you
lot.
can think about some of those hardest lessons, we would love to hear about those, because I think those would be super powerful for the listeners to hear, and for
Yeah.
myself too.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, stepping into this industry, I probably had more expectation higher than what it was. So, you know, sometimes we set these expectations that this one's going to be supportive and this is going to be, my family's going to come out, friends are going to come out, all the vegans are going to come out, like this whole big magical Alice in the Wonderland world, right? And
Mhm.
then crickets happen and then it's like dry. And then it's like, well, where's all the people, you know? So I think the biggest challenge was, or can be, is that, so just because it's a vegan cafe, that does not mean the vegans people are going to come out. And let me
Yeah,
repeat that. Yeah. Just because it's a vegan cafe, that does not mean that your consumers will just be vegan.
yeah,
And that's the most challenging part because as a consumer of a as a vegan consumer, these are things that I want and like say like, oh my God, I wish there was a place like this, especially when traveling. So we actually have more consumers that are not vegan than vegan.
wow, wow.
So you have more people that are carnivores eating like steak for dinner and you know filet mignons and like high quality vegan, you know, not vegan meats, like just all these
Mhm.
expense. We have people that are open to eating our food. So, which is bizarre because I'm like, when I first started this, I thought the whole vegan community is gonna be out here like we're gonna be swamp jam flat,
Mhm.
and it's not.
So
And
what do you accredit that to? Why do you think the non-vegans are coming to Mama Chea, a lot more non-vegans versus traditional
then the
vegans?
vegans,
Yeah,
yeah, I honestly I think a lot of times I get the with the I'm stuttering here. I'm just trying to choose the right words not to offend
yeah,
people. But I feel like a lot of times the vegan people want to tell you let me not say
yeah,
you, me, what I've experienced. Like vegan people try to tell you how to run your business or
mm,
how things should be, or oh, you should try with this and like you can't just swap a recipe like that, you know? Well, why are these
yeah.
eggs so expensive? Do you know how expensive walnuts are?
Right, right.
You know, and it's one of my main, hold on, my battery's about to die.
Okay, sure, sure. Oh,
So yeah, I feel like the biggest challenge is that, you know, sometimes assuming of what a business will look like without actually doing it can be maybe discouraging.
yeah,
So what I've learned is that just keep going. No
yeah.
matter how low the numbers can be or no how matter how numbers, always keep the mindset like consistent, committing,
Mhm.
and I would say discipline and always reminding
Mm.
yourself on why I started this, why
So
I'm
that's
doing this.
commitment, consistency, and discipline.
Discipline sounds like a bad word, but I think so, you
No,
know,
that's a
because you
great
have to be,
word.
yeah, I
That's a
know it
great
sounds like a
word.
little bit like a bad word, but yeah, bad words for this and discipline for sure. Because
Okay.
it's you gotta be your own discipline because when you work for corporate, the boss is disciplining you, right?
Yep. Hmm.
You know, no, you cannot go to lunch. You can't go to break this time or, so what's so crazy that ever since I was young and I was in corporate, I said the day I have a kid, I'm not working for anyone. I've said that mantra for years. And I didn't know what the hell I was saying or talking about. But I've always said the day I have a kid, I am not working for nobody.
Mm,
And I would say this, how does it look, me being a 35-year-old or 40-year-old, whenever I have a kid, asking another adult if I can go to Disney with my child?
mm,
It didn't sit well with me. I don't know why. And no shame to anybody, but this is something that like I always analyze and I said, nah, I can't do that. So it
I
just didn't sit well.
you know, and like you said, no shame to anyone, right? Everyone has to choose their paths, right? And entrepreneurship just so happens to be ours, right? And I remember when I was young, in my early 20s, working in law, and I remember
Oh,
I did not like the fact that people were concerned with when and how long it took me to use the restroom. I did not like that.
oh
And I
my
was like,
God.
it is my body.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God.
but as a business owner,
Oh
I
my God.
understand, right? It's
Yeah.
time.
Imagine being pregnant and then
Yeah.
on working at home, okay,
Hmm.
and having to use the bathroom, being pregnant, you're in the bathroom
Yeah.
every other
Yeah.
5 minutes peeing, and then they're
Yep.
questioning, why aren't you on your computer during the time that everybody was like
Yep.
quarantining?
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm fucking 9 months pregnant. What are you asking me? What time I'm peeing? It was
Yeah.
just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, there is so much micromanaging, and I don't do
Hmm.
well with micromanaging because
Yeah.
when I work or when I'm in a workspace or creative space, I just go.
Yeah.
My mind goes, and I always used to work fast. I come from New York, so my mom is a hustle mentality. Like I come from the hustle mentality. So we're
Hmm.
very fast paced. We get the job done, we'll finish it, and then I'm just like, okay, what's next? Give me something more challenging. So
Yep.
it was always a thing. I was always getting in trouble also. Like, you got to get off your phone. You got to go. I'm like, I already finished it though.
Yeah. I totally understand that. I totally understand it for sure. Well,
Yeah.
look. So tell everybody, right? Give us this to end the episode off, right? Tell people why they should visit you and where.
Okay.
All right.
Why you should visit me?
Yeah.
Because we're amazing. No, but quite frankly, like what we're doing is very, very unique. And I love the feedback. I love listening to what people want more, especially if I have the capacity to create stuff. Our food is amazing. And I'm not
Mm,
just saying that because I'm the creator, but I really have put in so much mind and hours on the brain mastering of what I want this vision to look like. So
mhm,
Mama Chea's Cafe is somewhere where you're looking to eat something healthier, a better option, that's where we step in, and that's why we have all these different alternative plant-based meats. And it's just the menu's fun, and I rotate
mhm,
the menu so we don't get bored with the menu. And during like the holidays, we do catering also. So, we do a lot of stuff, and a lot of our products are also packaged because we are a brand. First,
mhm.
most of anything, we're a brand and
Right.
manufacturer facility. So we do have place for people to sit there, but it's not a big sit down restaurant. So yeah, that's
Beautiful.
something that, people should come out and check it out. It's a really unique space.
Beautiful. Well, I am excited about
Mhm.
having a walnut meatball. Um, I had walnut tacos for the first time, maybe last year, and they were phenomenal. So much so that I had to go back and get it the next day.
Oh, you got to come try
Yeah.
ours. Where'd you go? Where did they have walnut tacos?
It was in Naples. I can't remember
Oh,
the name of the place. It was organic. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was
okay,
phenomenal.
okay.
It was
Yeah.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Nice. Are they
Okay.
still around?
I believe so. That was last year. I went and checked
Yeah,
them
yeah,
out.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad
So
that we need more of that.
yeah, definitely. Well, I'll be coming by Mama Chea to get my walnut tacos, right? And
Yeah.
walnut meatballs. Yeah, for sure.
Or
Okay.
empanadas. We got the
Oh,
empanadas with walnut.
okay. See? All right. Enticing. Well, I'll come down this week for sure.
Awesome.
All right. Well, Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Marketing Medic. We hope that this episode was filled with gems that you can use in your everyday life and in your career and in your business, right? These are the stories of everyday restaurant owners, right? Giving
Yeah.
their all, giving their hearts to their businesses, growing these things from scratch, right? As you can see, Nicole
Yeah.
jumped from 9 to 5 right into
24
manufacturing
hours.
in 24 hours, right?
24 hours.
Right, and 10 different titles, but she's
Yeah,
doing it
exactly.
and she's doing it well. So thank you, Nicole, for
Yeah.
your time. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Anthony, and all the viewers for tuning in. Make sure you check us out at mamacheascafe.com or even our Instagram. Follow us at Mama Chea's Cafe and hope to see you guys soon.
Yes. All right, guys. Peace, blessings, cheers.